it's Joe from the Huron County Community Library, and I'm here to teach you guys how to do the cherry blossom painting. So for this, you will be getting kits or have already picked up your kits. So for this, you're going to need Q-tips, paintbrush, rubber band, one of these guys with sponges, red paint, white paint, and brown paint. If you wanted to add detail to your tree, you'd probably need some black paint, but we will be providing in the kits, everything will be there, and a canvas. Your canvases are already pre-painted for you guys so that it could save you a little bit of time. As you can tell, my hands are all nice and blue. Cherry blossom trees bloom from the end of March to mid-April, and they are very popular in Japan, and here in DC there's also the cherry blossom garden, and as you may know, cherry blossom trees are absolutely beautiful. So if you do this on your own, what you'll want is one of these sponges, or if you have the roller, the tiny little roller ones, you can just paint over your canvas with blue paint, or if you wanted it lighter, you can mix white and blue paint together and then let it dry. And make sure that it's completely dry and before you start doing your project. So I'm just going to use this slightly angled brush to make the tree. I don't get too fancy with the tree because it really gets covered up by the time you're done with the whole project. So we're going to use some brown paint to get started. And I'm not the greatest artist at drawing trees, so basically I do like a stick figure tree. I would also recommend you use acrylic paints if you do this at home and didn't pick up a kit. So go ahead and make yourself a tree. And like I said, it doesn't have to be fancy because it's gonna get covered up with other colors. And the word for cherry blossoms in Japanese is sakura. So that's a fun fact for you guys. And then once you have your tree going, you're gonna want to let it dry, because if you start to paint over it, it's gonna blot up too much. So I just basically make a little amount of branches on there, and you can make as many branches as you want. You don't have to make very many. Totally up to you. But like I said, just make branches so that you can put your cherry blossom flowers on there. And you are not going to need a lot of paint for this project, because it's very, very simple and easy to do. So just draw branches off of the tree and then let it dry. So I'm getting to the point where it's going to need to just dry before I can do anything else. So I'll add a little bit more paint to the bottom. But other than that, just go ahead and draw your tree. And you can do it at any angle that you want. It doesn't have to be right in the middle. It can be off to the side, off to the other side. Totally up to you. And if you are doing this at home, you can also use a different colored background. You don't have to use blue. You can use grays. The grays show up really well with the pink and white color. So So while this is drying, I'm going to go ahead and get my other colors ready, which is some red paint, which is really bright, bright red, but it'll mix in well. I'm also going to mix some white and red paint to make pink. You need very, very little red paint. I'm only using some red paint to add a little bit of accent to some of it. So once we have our tree dried up, it's pretty dry now, I'm going to go ahead and put the Q-tips together. So I would say two would be enough. I'm going to go ahead and do 4, and to keep it together, actually I'm doing 5. I will be tying them together with a rubber band. One side I'm going to use for the pink and the red paint, and then the other side I will be using just for the white paint so that it doesn't mix too much. But it doesn't really matter because it's just all going to mix together anyways. So once you have that all sorted out, you just take some of your paint and start blotting it around your tree, the branches. And you can put as many as you want. You want to just cover it up. Kind of do a little flower look to it. What I did is just holding them together so that it makes a little flower. And then I will switch colors once I get one color all situated around here. And if you want like a lighter pink color, you can add more white paint or just get regular white paint. You want to give yourself time to let it dry, because once you start going over with the other paints, it's going to kind of mix in together. So you just want to let it sit if it's heavier on other areas. See, it's got kind of like a flower look to it. And really, you could make this one whole color if you wanted. You could just make it like pink and a little bit of white, no reds. It's totally up to you. This is just how I'm doing mine. And you just blot your tree. And if you're not seeing like a lot of like shape to it, it's because there's too much paint. As you notice right in this general area, there's too much paint there. So now I'm gonna wait for it to dry a little bit, and then I'm going to add white to it. Okay, so now we're gonna go with the white paint, and like I said, I'm gonna do this side for it. I'm just using my hand. Have a paper towel handy. This comes off right off. Like I said, don't put too much paint on your Q-tips, because that is going to not give it any shape. So you want to make sure to kind of hold this together with the rubber band. In your kits, you will have multiple Q-tips together, so you want to cover the entire tree with this. By the end of it, you're basically not going to be able to see any of the branches. That's why I said the branches aren't that important when you're making it, because sometimes I know a lot of us try to be perfectionists about things, but you don't have to be with this, because you're just going to cover it up completely. Okay, so once you've got some white on there, I added more white paint to my what looked like pink, and I'm going to use the side that I had white paint on and add some more flowers. Now I'm adding more out to the outside here as well, so that's just me. You can add them wherever you want. Wherever there's space, you want to cover up all of the space where the branches are. So it looks like a tree that has tons of flowers on it. And you can even add it to some of the white ones, so it can give it some texture and color. And you just blot it all around so it looks like little flowers everywhere on there. I add a little bit of red to it. Just kind of give it a little bit more color. You don't need very much paint for this, like I said. And like I said, you could actually go over what's already on there to cover it up some more. So I'll just draw some off to the side and on the bottom, on the bottom. So it looks like they're kind of trailing around everywhere in here. So that's basically all it is, guys. Once you're done with your Q-tips, you can dispose of everything. It's actually a cleaner kind of painting of sorts. So this will be your end product, and you can do it however you want. It does not have to look like this, guys. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see your guys' creations, and I hope you guys enjoyed this painting. So see you guys later.